A review of the properties of ousia. As I read the following characteristics of ousia, two quirks. First, I always say ousia, not substance, so as not to forget the important connection in Greek to the verb to be. Second, I mention in my notes the challenge of translating to hypokemenon. Acro consistently translates it as subject, others as substratum, others in journal articles simply as the Greek transcribed into English, hypokemenon. To hypokemenon is a technical term in Aristotle, and all these translations have the advantage, when used consistently, of making that clear. To avoid the historical baggage that accrues to subject and to substratum, here I am opting for the transcribed hypokemenon. The definition and fundamental properties of ousia are the following. Ousia estin he kyriota tata kai protos kai malista legomene he meta kat hypokemenu tinos legatai met en hypokemenoi tini estin. That which is called ousia most strictly, primarily, and most of all, is that which is neither said of a hypokemenon nor in a hypokemenon. Deuterai ousiai legontai in hois edesin hai protos ousiai legomenai hyparkusin, tautata kaitaton edon tuton gene. The species in which the things primarily called ousiai are called secondary ousiai, as also are the genera of these species. Ton kat hypokemenu legomenon anankaion kai tunoma kai ton logon kategorestai tu hypokemenu. Of things said of a hypokemenon, both their name and their definition are necessarily predicated of the hypokemenon. Tonde en hypokemenoi onton, ep enion tunoma men uden kolue kategorestai tu hypokemenu, tonde logon adunaton. But as for things that are in a hypokemenon, in some cases there is nothing to prevent the name from being predicated of the hypokemenon, but it is impossible for the definition to be predicated. Ta alla panta etoi kat hypokemenon legatai ton proton ousion e en hypokemenais autais estin. All other things, i.e. except primary ousiai, are either said of the primary ousiai as hypokemena, for animal, for example, would not be predicated of man were it predicated of none of the individual men, or are in the primary ousiai as hypokemena. For color, for example, would not be in body were it not in some individual body. Ton deuteron ousion malon ousia to eidos tu genus. Of the secondary ousiai, the species is more ousia than the genus. Auton de ton edon hosa meesti gene, uden malon heteron hetero ousia estin. But of the species themselves, those which are not genera, one is no more ousia than another. Kai ton proton ousion, uden malon heteron hetero ousia estin. And of the primary ousiai, one is no more ousia than another. Metatas protas ousias, monoton alon, ta ere kai ta gene, deuterai ousiai legontai. After the primary ousiai, their species and genera are the only other things called ousiai. Koinon kata pases ousias, to me en hypokemenoi enai. It is a characteristic common to every ousia, primary and secondary, not to be in a hypokemenon. Kai he diapora ton me in hypokemenoi estin. The differentia is also among those things not in a hypokemenon. Hyparche tais usiais, kai tais diaporais, to panta sun onumos ap auton legistai. It is a characteristic of usiae and differentiae that all things called from them are so called synonymously. Epimenton proton usion an amphis beteton kai ale thesistin hoti todeti semaine. As regards the primary usiae, it is indisputably true that each of them signifies a certain this, each being revealed as individual and numerically one, that is. Al hedeltera usia malon poionti semaine, uk haplos de, alato eidos kaito genos peri usian to poion ap orisde. But the secondary usia rather signifies a certain qualification, though not simply a certain qualification, like say white, but rather the species in the genus mark off the qualification of usia, namely as being said of many things. Hyparche tais usiais kai to me den autais enantion enai. Another characteristic of usiae is that there is nothing contrary to them. Uk idionde tes usias tuto. This is not, however, peculiar to usia. Usia uk epideketai to malon kai to heton. Usia does not admit of a more and a less. Malista idion tes usias doce enai, to tauton kai hen arithmoi on, ton enantion enai decticon. It seems most distinctive of usia that what is numerically one and the same is able to receive contraries, unlike, that is, other things that are numerically one and the same, take a color or an action, for example, but do not receive contraries.